outfit to design? Like lehengas or saris or salwar kameez? What is it?
Well, I mean, at this point, I think, the idea of one garment, one world has become more accepted worldwide over. And I sell in Hong Kong, I sell in Indonesia, I sell in London. We do a lot of work with Italy. I don't, like to categorize myself, let's say, as an Indian fashion designer, because I think then you limit yourself tremendously, also in terms of silhouette. Here, specifically because it was the India Splendor event, I wanted to bring clothes that were actually more Indian in a sense, but at the same time there was a crossover because I had a lot of Hollywood celebrities wanted to come and buy the collection as well. So I think it's more interesting to be able to do other things besides just Indian clothing.
So when someone looks at a Suneet Verma piece, what do they first see? What is the first thing that is recognizable that pops out?
Well, I've been in the business 21 years. This is my 21st year at work, and I've very deliberately tried to make an effort to make my look a little bit more younger, chicer, sexier, if I might call it so myself. We took the sari, which is a one-piece, 5.5 meters of fabric, and made into two-piece sari, which still you can't quite tell how it's worn. So I like to play around with silhouette to a certain extent, but I think people look for more style and probably a certain sense of sensuality within my clothing, because I don't do the very regular and I don't like to do very traditional clothing. I like the idea of traditional revival sort of textiles and embroideries and techniques of embellishment, but not necessarily for the silhouette.
And who have you worked for in the past?
Well, I worked with Yves Saint Laurent once I graduated. I worked in Paris for a while, and then I worked for French Connection in London before I moved back to India. And since then, I've got my own studio, and we have stores in Delhi and Bombay. We have an agent in Hong Kong, in London. I've sold to Barney's in New York, and also we've done a lot of Hindi films through Bollywood, and hopefully do some Hollywood films as well here in LA.
So what's your personal sense of fashion? What's your style?
I think you should be as comfortable in your clothing as you're in your skin. I think that's the whole point of wearing great clothing, because they should become one of you. You shouldn't have to be separated from your clothing too easily. And I think even though I'm a fashion designer and I may get sued for having said this, but I don't think you have to always follow trends of seasons. I think what works best for you is you already know that. So if you feel great in a pair of jeans and a black t-shirt, I think that's fine. And if you feel great in being decked up and looking like a Christmas tree and not really caring about it, and I think that's even fine. So I think keep it simple, keep it chic, and keep it sexy.
Well, you're looking very sexy today. Could you tell us what you're wearing?
Well, I'm wearing a Suneet Verma shirt for next season, so I always get to get the samples for the season before. And I'm wearing a trouser from Armani, so that's what I'm wearing. And my shoes are my patent